Alright, if you feel like you didn't quite make enough progress in 2024 and didn't achieve all your goals, it's fine, because it's in the past. But 2025 is right around the corner. So let's buckle the fuck up and get ready for 2025, as it's gonna be the fucking year. By the way, bro, I'm Aaron, straight A student in Kungsholmen Gymnasium, always loving up life. And if you found and clicked on this video, it was meant to be, bro. I want 2025 to be the best year of your existence. I want 2025 to be the year where you break through. I want 2025 to be the year where you finally manifest your goals. And it all starts with like temporarily putting off all this like, dopamine heavy stuff of 2025, new year, new me off to the side and looking back and contemplating over what happened in 2024. No matter how bad your 2024 might have went, maybe at the start of the year you were full of confidence, you had many goals listed down, but at the end you realized you didn't achieve like even half of them. No matter how bad it might have went, have the humility and the confidence to look back and reflect and contemplate. Like right now I can tell you, one of the main constraints for me last year was that after coming home from school, I couldn't get any work done. That's like one of the main problems that I'm like on the path of fixing right now. And I want you to do the same. Look back and reflect and find your constraints. A wise man by the name of Gustavo Fring, if you have watched Breaking Bad, once said,
"What advice do you have for me?" Never make the same mistake twice.
Never make the same mistake twice. I realize you've got to learn from your mistakes, man. If you're like me and you have made several shortcomings and mistakes over the past year, learn from them, bro. It happened for a reason. It happened so we can learn from them and not make them again and improve for 2025. Now that you have looked back and reflected over like your past year and contemplated on like what went wrong, what went right, and found out like your constraints and shortcomings and weak points, now you want to take all those lessons and port them over to 2025. If you have like New Year's resolutions for 2025, let me tell you, that is a complete scam, bro. It's like a huge tradition that people set New Year's resolutions, New Year, New Me, and all of that bullshit. And let me tell you, 90% of the New Year's resolutions don't get fulfilled, bro. It's just like a dopamine way of setting goals. Like every year, like I had a friend who every year set like a goal of losing 10 kgs. And even if after lots of hard work in like the first month or two, he lost 10 kgs, during the rest of the year, he would just gain it back. Because setting New Year's resolution is an example of a finite game and not an infinite game. You're playing the game to win, but then you're just going to fall back into old precarious habits. And so it's auspicious to not set New Year's resolutions because it's just like, what like the 99% average people do. And it doesn't really work that well because you're playing it just because everyone else is doing it. Instead, it's to set like goals, like hard, fast goals and intentions. Even when I was a kid, right, I never really liked the concept of New Year's resolution. Like I remember when I was like 7, 8, I was in India and my parents were like trying to get me to put some New Year's resolutions like I will eat 1 fruit a day for the rest of the year or something like that. And sure, it was like fun at times, but I never really liked the idea and I never got to be consistent with it. The only real way I've found to make progress is to have a super strong why. And doing it as part of a New Year's resolution is not a super strong why. It's just, because everyone else does it. It's culture. You have to have a very good reason and then set goals and intentions on that. It's from the book Start With Why by Simon Sinek. And also for when you do set goals and intentions for the next year, do not set any time frames on it. That's another mistake that I have done. Like, I used to say like, I want to hit like, 100 subscribers by March, or I want to hit a 1K by like the next 6 months. Instead, just set the goals like, I want to hit 1K, done. I want to get good grades, done. And don't put like a time frame on it. Because what you do when you put a time frame on it is just limit yourself to hitting that time frame. Like, you don't allow yourself to hit that goal earlier or even later. It's like you bind yourself unnecessarily to that time frame, when in reality, goals can come they can be achieved very earlier than you might have anticipated, or they could take a bit longer than you have expected. So for 2025, when you have goals, like, do not set stupid time frames for them, and instead just prioritize on doing and acting and getting it done. And you'll realize that when you don't limit yourself with a time frame, you'll make so much more progress, bro. onto your goals. So he'll think don't bother with New Year's resolutions and instead set goals. Or if you have already had goals in 2024 that maybe you didn't achieve, then renew them. Like reform them and make them viable to your current self so that you're in the best, most favorable scenario to fulfill them in the coming year. Also, by the way, if you want like my free Notion templates that I personally created and use like every day to help myself be more systemized and get good grades whilst doing all this like self-improvement stuff, then you can check the first link down below. It's completely free. Finally, for the next year, make sure not to hold back, bro. Make sure to make the most out of it. I remember in like the earlier stages in 2024, I used to have like this weird connotation where I just held back things for no real reason. Like I felt like I could be doing so much more, that I had so much potential, not in like goals and stuff, but in like what I could do and like how I could act and think and all that stuff, but I just didn't. And I was like holding myself back and thought like maybe if I like save it for later, it would be better than it's like delayed gratification. I don't know what I was thinking, but it is very common for us that we hold back and don't really want to go all out. But that's not the time now. I've learned after reading like many books, I've learned that you kind of have to like insert the future into the present. You kind of have to insert the future and make it like the present right now, and do what you would do in the future right now, and do not hold back. If you are young, like we only get like these youth years once in our lifetime, and to like hold back and like not really, express your true, authentic, natural self, and just be like, and just shy away from like living, then you'll look, yeah, I mean, it's fine, you can do it, but when you grow and get older, you'll look back and like realize that you wasted so much like ample time that you could have just, lived more fully and made more progress onto your goals. And that's kind of like the feeling that I have in the earlier stages of 2024. But it's good for me, and I'm grateful that I have realized it by now. And so, from like the second half of 2024, I've been living like full on, I haven't been like, like constraining myself and dampening myself down. And I suggest you do the same for 2024, because you'll realize that when you let your heart out of the box for the next year, when you like allow yourself to be natural and allow yourself to be yourself in a way, and it's not like this cringe blue pill shit, but it's instead just, being natural with yourself, then you'll realize that you'll make much more progress onto your goals. So whilst you're grinding and shit, make sure you don't forget to live and plan in decades, right? Plan in years and years in the coming future, but act like there's no tomorrow. And that's how you make a very fulfilling and fun life. All right, so the last thing I want you to do with me, bro, is to raise a toast and declare your intention for 2025. It doesn't have to be real. You don't have to get like a real fucking beer bottle or whatever. Just visualize it, picture yourself holding like a drink or whatever, and just raise a toast with me, bro, that you will fulfill your intention and goals in 2025. Say your intentions, declare them that I will do XYZ in 2025, and make sure to just raise your toast and full on declare like this is simply how it's going to be, and you're going to achieve it. That's all I want to say, bro. And as we venture into 2025, happiness should not be one of your goals. It's like a choice, and it's now or never. And if you want to see more on that, on how to be happier without making it like some future if-based scenario, then you can click here where I talk a lot more about that. It's one of the most valuable videos I made because it's about happiness. It's like one of the most intricate things about us. Subscribe and come chill with us in the videos, bro. We'd love to have you here. And as always, your potential is only limited by your intention. See you, bro.